So one of the reasons the job market in the UK is so bad right now, and no one seems to be talking about it, is the changes that were made to the IR35 tax laws. Now, if you don't know what IR35 is, essentially it is a tax law that determines if someone can work as self-employed and run for their own limited company for private and public sector organisations. So when they need to hire contractors instead of permanent staff, you would typically be outside IR35. Now, you may remember that we had the big lorry fiasco and so many lorry drivers, and people blamed it on Brexit, but realistically it was nothing to do with that. It was to do with IR35. And the main reason is people want to be paid fairly in the UK, which they typically aren't. Whereas someone like myself, I could quite easily earn 2 or 3 times more just by being a contractor. But there is that added risk. Now, the reason this has impacted the job market so badly is because those people who were contractors, outside IR35 contracts, pretty much do not exist anymore. Most of them are inside IR35, or companies are doing FTC and hiring people on PAYE. Now, this is almost wiped out the junior job market, especially for graduates in things like computer science and finance, because most of those contractors just went back to permanent employment or they left the country. Now, for the people that went back to permanent employment, they're obviously going to be paid more money because they're typically senior staff, which means there's no money left to hire junior people and train them up. Now, a lot of them would have went back into working for a private sector consultancy organisation that provides services to companies in the public sector or in the private sector. And they're now paying more money for these people because these people are hired PAYE. Like myself, I work in consulting, but the day rates are higher because the private sector companies that employ contractors as consultants on PAYE have to charge more. So nobody is really winning here, and no one seems to want to talk about it, and no one is addressing how it isn't just contractors that are actually impacted, it's PAYE permanent members of staff as well. And because of all the tax implications and the law around this tax, companies don't want to take the risk and put someone through outside IR35 in case they are deemed not by HMRC, and then they come down with big fines.
Right, I just want to talk about the UK job market for a minute. Why is it now that just ordinary working class people basically have to be Albert Einstein to get a job at your local fucking Tesco? Honestly, have you seen the flipping requirements for jobs nowadays? It is absolutely mental. You load up any job search engine that you can find, type in the career of your choice, don't even bother reading the fucking description of the job because it won't matter. All you need to do is go straight down to the requirements, and if you haven't got a degree, a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or whatever fucking else other degree there is out there, don't bother. Now, I for one went to university myself, and I thought it was a complete and utter waste of time. I studied sport and exercise science in the hope of one day being a physiotherapist. I need to come out the other end and look for jobs in physiotherapy to find out I'll be paid fucking £6 an hour on an apprenticeship wage. Now, unless you were born with a silver spoon up your ass and you've got a load of money behind you, how on earth is an everyday normal person meant to go to university when they've got themselves in so much debt to go then do a job on £6 an hour? So what I ended up doing is I ended up going into sales, so something completely irrelevant to the degree I actually studied for, just so I could get the money that I needed to survive in day-to-day life. And now what I'm seeing when I go to apply for other sales jobs, bearing in mind I've got 8 to 10 years worth of sales experience now, that they want you to have a fucking bachelor's or master's degree in medical science, which is completely irrelevant to the job. It's lazy employment. Because you can't be asked to sift through a CV and actually find out the crooks and the actual, personality of said person who's actually applying for the job, you'd rather just go straight to the bottom of their CV and just see if they've got a degree. Now, I know some people are going to tell me that having a degree is a good sign of dedication. It means you'll stick at something. Obviously, that's a good sign for the employer who's looking to take you on. But there's 1,000,001 good employees that are just sitting at home who would be perfect for that job, and simply because they don't have a degree, they're going to be discounted. And then we wonder why the UK is fucked and the economy is broken. So for me to go get a different job in the sales field now, I'll need to go back to university to ideally complete a fucking business degree, which is going to cost me the best part of 50, 60 grand, just to get a job in the same field I'm already fucking in. Not to mention the basic salary will probably be 30 grand at best, with an OTE of 60 to 70. And then once I start earning over 25 grand again, I'm going to start paying that fucker back and all. Before long, you're going to need a bachelor's degree just to go pick shit up off the street. Or you're going to need a master's degree in fucking hygiene just to go to a nursing home and clean some old fucker's arsehole. And just for you employers out there that are looking to employ a 21-year-old fresh out of university into a sales job, you clearly have never spoken to any 20 or 21-year-old now, because they've got a flipping personality of a plank. Honestly, it's like trying to draw blood from a fucking stone talking to someone who's 20 and 21 years old. They're either high as a kite or complain that they're too fucking tired anyway. And before you start crying, I know it's not all of you, so calm down.
Job hunting in the UK sucks. It's got to be one of the most demoralising feelings when you come into work on a Monday or at the beginning of the week, knowing that you've got another week ahead of a job that doesn't pay you properly for what you do and you're not fulfilled by. So you decide to take a look through the job boards, and every single job board is just full of shit. And when you do find the odd job that is actually meaningful and would be rewarding, so often it just seems to be the case that the pay is that bad that it makes it completely unviable. And it's not even like a reluctance to work thing. The vast majority of people want to work on stuff. They want to be productive and they want to be doing something with their time. It's just the options that we're given are so shit. And it's such a trap as well, because you so easily fall into this on a Monday or a Tuesday in this case. And as the week progresses on, it's like, okay, the weekend's nearly here, the weekend's there, and finally you can switch off again, and then you repeat. And you can see how people just get stuck in that for decades on end. That, for me, is such a depressing future. And that's why it's highly advisable to try and craft your own path if you can. But it's so difficult doing that on top of a full-time job, particularly if you're already burnt out and exhausted all the time. So what do we need to do as a society to address that? But don't ponder too deep on the existentialism, because otherwise you end up like me, where you want to drive your fucking head through the table every Monday. Late stage capitalism is a pile of bullshit. Drop a follow if you want to throw your work laptop off the top of the Empire State.
Hi guys, right, listen, don't quit your job. Do not quit your job. Oh my goodness. Even if you find it really boring, stay in your job. Stay in your job, because I'm currently looking for contracted employment, and I didn't realize how bad this jobs market actually is. It's, oh my goodness. So basically I've had 2 interviews over the past couple of weeks. I've been unemployed for 2 months now, and 2 months, you know, and people are saying, oh, that's not a long time. That's a long time. So that's a lot of time. But like I say, I had 2 interviews. First interview performed really well, didn't get the job. Second interview didn't perform that well. Confidence was really badly hit after that first job rejection. 24 hours later, I had another interview, answered all the questions, but really, really generic interview. Really didn't perform well in that. So I've been rejected from that as well. Got another interview tomorrow, prepping really, really, really hard for that one. We're going to give it our all in that one. Confidence is back. But like, guys, don't quit your job. Seriously, this jobs market is so hard with the application processes to get back into employment. It's really, really difficult. Now, if you've got a referral, you're in, right? But even that, then it's not guaranteed. So, but you know, basically in this jobs market, if you don't have referrals, guys, it's an uphill battle. It really is. I really do feel sorry for a lot of people out there, trying to look for employment. But yeah, another job interview tomorrow. We're going to have a nice shave, look smart. Let's go.
Job hunting in the UK sucks.
It's almost like that degree is just kind of like for nothing.
It's not just me, it's not just you, it's not anyone else I've been speaking to. The market is terrible.
I'm applied for dozens of jobs to be told that you're not what we're looking for. So what is it that you're looking for?
Why is it now that just ordinary working class people basically have to be Albert Einstein to get a job at your local Tesco?
Hi guys, right, listen. Don't quit your job. Do not quit your job.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Get a job, they say. But where? For what pay? And with what security? The UK job market is a disaster. Low wages, 0 hours contracts, and employers acting like they're doing you a favour. And while the government brags about record employment, the reality on the ground is brutal. Wages that don't cover rent, jobs with no hours, and bosses who think burnout is just part of the package. Today on Brit Rants, we're diving headfirst into the rage. TikTok is overflowing with people who've had enough. From overworked nurses to underpaid retail staff, the truth is loud and clear. Working in Britain is broken. Let's get into it. And if you're sick of being told to just work harder, hit subscribe and join the noise.
Why is it so hard to get a job? I've worked a job before. I don't know if you want experience. I don't know if you don't want the experience. Like, what are you looking for? Why is it so hard to get a job? I don't understand. I'm applied for dozens of jobs to be told that you're not what we're looking for. So what is it that you're looking for? Please tell me. Please tell me, because I need to know.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Part of this account was showing what it's like post-graduation in college, and let me tell you, so far, not great. I graduated in May, and I can't even, I'm pretty sure I've probably applied to like 600 jobs, at least. At bare minimum. Like, that's not even me over-exaggerating, that's like the bare minimum. And if one more freaking Indeed applications, like, can you take these tests? It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and then all 10-minute songs, about 30 minutes. And then on top of that, we're gonna ask you to do a video interview. Brother, how hard is it to pick up the phone and be like, we're interested in giving you an interview? Do you want my firstborn child first before you decide if I'm good for your job? I'm like out here giving DNA samples just to see if I can meet the qualifications to get the position. And they act all like your daddy who traumatized you and didn't give you a time of day, then they ghost you. I get more ghosted by jobs than people.
Do you know what actually really gets on my last nerves? These job applications, like, what the hell? I spend hours, I'm not even joking, hours on applications, on even just like one application, because apparently putting my CV isn't enough. They want more information. They want me to rewrite my education history. They want me to rewrite my employment history. I'm doing all of this. I'm rewriting cover letters like specific to your jobs. I'm changing my CV specific to your job role, and you don't even have the decency to respond to my application. Not even a rejection email, just pure ghosted. Like, at least if I get rejected, I know that you've probably not even seen it, but you've at least seen my name and that my application has come through and you've just rejected me. But to ghost me and not even give me a response, that shit hurts.
So being unemployed sucks, obviously. It's not fun. It's not fun. You know, you're worried about imposter syndrome. Am I going to find a job? Am I going to grow my career? All this stuff. But I really kind of have to remind myself as well, you know, it will come. You are putting in the work. I mean, every day I'm just applying, you know, easily to 10 to 15, 10 to 20 jobs, give or take. So really just reminding myself that it will come. If you have to apply to 3,000 jobs and you have to apply to 3,000 jobs, it's going to happen. But yes, the UK market for unemployment rate is trash. It's absolute trash. I know there's a lot of reasons why from the government and everything as why the unemployment rate is so high. It's trash. Weather is getting better though, and you know what? Fish and chips save the day.
The market's cooked, guys. It's cooked. It's freaking cooked. You're applying for jobs. What are you getting? Sorry, unfortunately, I wouldn't sign me up. Why are you telling me that? Why are you telling me that? Entry levels are asking for how many years of experience? And with the salary you're offering, you think, what? What are we meant to do? The UK, generally speaking, doesn't have jobs that match to live here. They don't have jobs to match that live here. So when people start uprooting themselves and moving abroad, the UK is going to become scarce. Like, it's going to be a ghost town at the rate it's going. People are up in, getting a little bit of income and they're leaving, they're cutting. Who wants to be here? Who wants to be here? Check to check, teeth to cheek, I don't know what they call it nowadays, but you apply for jobs. Apply. What do you get? Sorry, we regret to inform you. Unfortunately, we decided to go with another candidate because you just don't fit the role. But you've got all the experience we're looking for. What does that mean? What does that mean, Bridget? What does that mean? What the heck does that mean? Because you're applying, you're putting your best foot forward, and all you get is regret to inform you. And I swear to you, I bet everybody relates to this. You have literally completed, you know those, like the job whole application, and it's talking about filling your name, filling everything, and then you fill in the 6 boxes about why you're best fit for the company, and then they ask you why do you want to work here. I want to get paid. I want to get paid. That's it. I want to make money. I want to make money moves. Why do they always ask that question? Why would you be English? Why would you be a great fit for this job? I mean, a great fit for this role. I don't know. I'm reliable. I'm resilient. I'm trustworthy. I'm responsible. I'm great communicative skills. Heck, I'm telling you guys, to the point where you complete that application, and I'm talking about you sit there and you fill in all those questions and you file everything down to the point, bar for bar, just when the jobs come back and tell you, we're so sorry, but we regret to inform you, but your application has not been put forward. My application ain't been put what? You know what you're here for? What? What are you talking about my application? And bear in mind, right, that job application that you sat there for a whole hour, sitting there, filling in that application, just for the response to me back saying, we regret to inform you. Not even, we thank you for all the efforts you put forward in this job application and we would love to offer you another position. There's never that. Never that. They never look at our CVs and say, you know what? I like you. I like your resilience. I like your dedication. You can't differentiate between fake jobs on LinkedIn anymore because they're making it too realistic. Yeah, too realistic. Way too realistic. Honestly, guys, I've applied to be a construction manager. I'm not even trained in that department, but it seems like I have to apply for that. I would apply for anything and everything. Anything and everything. If you guys see me frontline centre as a general surgeon, don't ask questions, just nod on and keep going on. Because the things that I'm applying for, you're either too overqualified or you're too underqualified and you haven't got what we're looking for. But what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that actually mean? The job market is finished. It is finished. Because there are people out there that are way too overqualified and they're still getting rejected. Still getting rejected. So what does that mean for the rest of us? GBP. The pound used to be so great. It's in decline. The UK is in decline. The job market is in decline. Applying for a house on a good rent basis is in decline. Driving licenses to be getting a test in decline because resellers.
This is a note that if you are looking for a job, the market is shit and it's not just you. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's not anyone else I've been speaking to. The market is terrible and we just need to keep going. We'll get there, we'll have a hot girl summer and we will be able to buy coffees without feeling guilty about it soon. Fingers crossed.
How is everyone finding jobs? And more importantly, how are people finding jobs in a career that they weren't previously in without experience? Yet when I try and do the same, regardless if it's a job I've experienced in or something new, it's a rejection within the first 30 seconds. I applied for a job the other day and it was posted, I think at the time it said 50 minutes ago. And by that time, there'd already been 120 applicants. So it's getting to the point where you don't even have time to tailor your CV to that job because by the time you've tailored your CV properly and sat and done it properly, there's going to be another 100, 200 people. And I saw a content creator on here basically saying that they're not even looking at CVs past the 100 applicant. So you need to literally see these jobs as they come up, apply for them in the first 30 seconds, or you don't even get a look in. I just want to sell pictures of my feet for like $3,000 a month. That's all I'm asking for. Oh, but I'm also asking for people to actually respond to you rather than just leaving you on red for 6 weeks and then responding saying, sorry, you were unsuccessful.
So last week I had probably the biggest mental breakdown that I've had in as long as I can remember. And it's been mainly because of the job search.
Can we just, talk about how difficult it is to get into the UK jobs market right now?
These job applications, what the hell?
Job hunting in the UK fucking sucks.
It's not just me, it's not just you, it's not anyone else I've been speaking to. The market is terrible.
Why is the UK grad scheme market, entry-level market, job market in general so cooked?
You know the economy's bad when people who study those really well-respected subjects are just broke.
So I spoke to a recruiter earlier today and they told me the job market in the UK is dry.
But no one's hiring! No one's hiring, what's going on?
The UK job market is a mess. Fewer jobs, lower wages, and companies cutting back instead of hiring. People are stuck in dead-end roles or struggling to find work at all. And if you think job hunting is bad now, just wait. It's not getting easier anytime soon. Stick around because we're breaking it all down. And yeah, subscribe, because my subscriber conversion rate is lower than inflation. So subscribe to beat the inflation.
This is a note that if you are looking for a job, the market is shit and it's not just you. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's not anyone else I've been speaking to. The market is terrible and we just need to keep going. We'll get there, we'll have a hot girl summer and we will be able to buy coffees without feeling guilty about it soon. Fingers crossed.
Job hunting in the UK fucking sucks. It's got to be one of the most demoralising feelings when you come into work on a Monday or at the beginning of the week, knowing that you've got another week ahead of a job that doesn't pay you properly for what you do and you're not fulfilled by. So you decide to take a look through the job boards and every single job board is just full of shit. And when you do find the odd job that is actually meaningful and would be rewarding, so often it just seems to be the case that the pay is that bad that it makes it completely unviable. And it's not even like a reluctance to work thing. The vast majority of people want to work on stuff. They want to be productive and they want to be doing something with their time. It's just the options that we're given are so shit. And it's such a trap as well, because you so easily fall into this on a Monday or a Tuesday in this case. And as the week progresses on, it's like, okay, the weekend's nearly here. The weekend's there, and finally you can switch off again, and then you repeat. And you can see how people just get stuck in that for decades on end. That, for me, is such a depressing future. And that's why it's highly advisable to try and craft your own path if you can, But it's so difficult doing that on top of a full-time job, particularly if you're already burnt out and exhausted all the time. So what do we need to do as a society to address that? But don't ponder too deep on the existentialism, because otherwise you end up like me, where you want to drive your fucking head through the table every Monday. Late stage capitalism is a pile of bullshit. Drop a follow if you want to throw your work laptop off the top of the Empire State.
Okay, I'm just gonna shamelessly do this. My name is Dana. I've been a model for about 9 years. I have a marketing degree. I also have a certification in front-end development. I can speak 2 other languages. I'm currently living in London, and I've been applying for jobs for over 6 months and zero responses. So if anyone knows anybody hiring, I'm more than happy to send my resume.
One thing for sure and 2 things for certain. Listen closely. If you have a job in this economy, you best hold on to that shit tight for the next 4 years minimum. This UK job market is no joke. Speaking from someone that used to bang jobs from left, right, centre, the game's gotten tougher. I better start racking up that bread, cause ciao.
You know the economy's bad when people who study those really well-respected subjects are just broke. Yeah, I had a friend called me, he did an engineering degree. He can't find a job. I got friends who've done maths degrees, economic degrees, and they're literally working in retail. Like, eventually they'll get a job in that field of study, but not for a while. Like, they got to go through so many steps. They would have been better off if they just became an Uber driver, honestly. That's how oversaturated uni degrees are. And some of you are still trying to study some ridiculous subject because it's fun. Yeah, you want to study your philosophy and your gender stuff. My friend, you're going to struggle if you do that. God bless if your parents are rich, yeah? Do what you want. But if you do it outside of that reason, you're an idiot. You're either ignorant, naive, or just stupid. So please, lock in. I have to get this video to a minute just so I can pay my bills. That's how oversaturated university is. All right, we've got 10 seconds, lock in. What else? Guys, uni. All right, 5 seconds, hold on. We're nearly done. You get the message, yeah? Be careful when you're studying university. All right, bye-bye.
So I spoke to a recruiter earlier today, and they told me the job market in the UK is dry. As in, they're barely getting jobs from organisations. And what they're finding is people are having to apply for roles that they know that they are overqualified for. So that's leaving people that are trying to get jobs at their level jobless, because ultimately the organisations are giving the jobs to people that are overqualified because to them it's better value for money. And it just had me looking in the direction of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship and thinking, you know what, fair enough. As crazy as the stats are around starting a business and the difficulties around that and how many fail, once you get to a certain point, you get out what you put in. You might be applying for 100 jobs in a week, and as much effort as you put in, there are 1,000,001 reasons why you might not get that job. Apart from that, in some jobs, there are no pathways for promotion upon exceeding your work or doing above and beyond what you're tasked to do. You have to apply for the job like any other Tom, Dick and Harry. No wonder you hear these terms like silent quitting or people actually resigning or saying they can't be up for 9 to 5s and things of that nature, because when do you actually see the rewards of your labour? On the whole, minus banking, I'm yet to meet a lot of people that are super enthusiastic about their job and how much they're getting paid and how everything is structured. Maybe it's time to put some energy in your passion and see where that takes you.
So Friday I had 2 interviews for project manager positions, and the first interview, it was just awful. It was just terrible. It was terrible because the recruiter, instead of just asking about my qualifications, my experience, why did I move from Spain to the UK, or why did I move from the US to Spain all those years ago, just talked about Trump the whole time. Like, the second I opened my mouth and introduced myself, he was like, "Oh, you're American. What do you think about your president?" And I was just like, "I'm not really here to discuss about politics, you know?" And then he was like, "Oh, but like, where are you from in the States?" And I'm like, "Florida." And he was like, "Oh, so like where Trump lives?" And I was just like, here we go. So I'm not taking that job at all. Like, I mean, this was more a political rant than a job.
everybody's looking for a job. There's so many people getting made redundant, people that just can't find jobs even though they're qualified. Like, everybody is struggling to find a job right now. Apparently even places like LinkedIn and all those kind of websites are even putting up fake job listings. It's honestly so sad and such a shame to see people spend so much time and money on uni to learn these skills to not even get a job in the field that they studied. Create your own opportunities. It takes about 2 to 5 people to start a startup, yeah? Of all the people in the world, of all the people who are also struggling to find jobs, you'll find 2 to 3 to 5 people who are in the same field as you, and you guys can just start your own corporation, startup, whatever. Someone will need your services, someone will need your skills, someone will need what you have to offer. So yeah, if these big companies are not trying to hire you guys, or you're getting made redundant, or you just can't find a job at all, create your own. Create your own. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but like, imagine everyone just dropped what field they're in at the bottom here, and you find like 2 to 3 or 5 people who are in a similar field, and you guys get together and just create your own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all just need to start thinking outside of the box. So imagine someone who does marketing commented on here, and there's like 2 to 3 people, and then you guys start up like a marketing company, right? But then you guys don't really know how to push out your marketing company, but then you've got like 4 people who do sales who also commented under here. So then you hire the people to help you with the sales, to push your marketing out there, to sell what you're doing, sell your business, and then you guys obviously then get your clients. It's a win-win. And the other option is just look at jobs in other countries, guys. There's so many different opportunities out there. Don't be afraid to just take that leap and just fucking relocate and start something new. This makes a lot more sense in my head, but you guys get my drift. Just create your own opportunities at this point, because the world is a shambles. Your future self will thank you.